last night we made this wig. I'm about to style it and get it shipped out. This is Kinky straight hair. 10 inches, and so I'm gonna cut it too. And I have to pluck the knots. So we're gonna start straightening it. I don't use a lot of product in the hair because it's already like full of luster. I really love this texture. This is my favorite hair texture. This is the Mink Brazilian Kinky straight hair from the Taylor Hair Collection. We still want a little texture in it. Just pressing it a little bit. This feels so good. So this is it pressed, and this is its natural texture. 10 inches. I'm gonna cut it though. Because we love the Lord. Sing praises. Because we love the Lord. Before Him, before Him. Because we love the Lord. Sing praises. Sing praises. Because we love the Lord. I love this hair. It's so cute. Like, this texture is perfect. Side note, if you've caught any of my other lives, I'd be so surprised when people like know who I'm listening to and like their songs. I mean, they have a whole bunch of views, but like I usually don't meet people or like come across people who actually be knowing like or be knowing these songs, because these songs really get you through. Like I just love them, because when you're going through something or like you're like just on your day at your job, it's nothing like just singing songs and thinking about songs that are going to like encourage you and remind you of what you're doing. Like not just listening to anything that's putting like feeding your spirit with negative things. Like you want to feed your spirit with things that are going to help you and to get you closer to God, not farther away from Him. I feel like the world is getting like You literally gotta hold on to God. 'Cause it's definitely getting interesting, you know? And so you gotta make sure you literally hold on to God and what He tells you to do. Build your hopes on things eternal. I'm so thankful.
They knew what the boundaries were in the Garden of Eden. And then, after everything's settled, he influences the serpent. And now the dialogue is, did God really say? Did he really say you can't eat the fruit? And then you know what follows that? Comparison. He says, you know what? If you eat of it, you will be as wise as God. So now you start to, Eve is measuring herself. Like, wait, so maybe I'm not wise. So is God holding back from us? Oh, I want wisdom, like in the place where we just feel like, you know what, God, it's about time. And you start giving God a timeline. Do you know the issue with timelines? You're literally telling the enemy where to meet you. When you say, you know what, God, if this doesn't happen in 5 years, I'm done. And the enemy says, oh, you made this easy. 5 years, I will give you a counterfeit. We are submitted vessels. We don't tell God how to work. We submit to his ways and his time and his season concerning our lives. You don't serve a genie who you tell your 3 wishes to. We are submitted to his lordship. Lord means owner. Every time I say my Lord, I say my owner. Jesus, you own me. And so it's not about, oh God, this is my timeline. No. You're making it easy for the other guy. Say, Lord, no, I'm submitted. It's the result of process with God. Before God reveals you in your assignment, he has taken you through a wilderness. Even Jesus. The Bible says that Jesus was led by the Spirit of the Lord to be tempted by the enemy. But that moment of temptation was about process. That before you are announced to be, or not even just announced, before you are revealed to the world, not just a few, but to the world, you must go through process. And so are you fighting your process, or are you submitted to the process? Because you see, as believers, our first assignment is to be with Jesus, but then we are sent out by him. And what does that look like? To know him and to make him known. And so many times, I see this especially in the States. There's an obsession people have with purpose, but they don't have that same commitment to seeking God. There's an obsession people have with God. Who am I? What have you called me to do? I want to build this for your kingdom, but you cannot build for a kingdom that you don't know the king.
Mm-hmm. I'll be working on
And so
it.
I don't know what that looks like for you. But the first assignment is to know him, to be with him. If you're in a place in your life and you feel like, God, I don't know what you've called me to do. I don't know my purpose. I don't know what my assignment is. Know him. Stay in his presence. Linger in his presence. You see, Joshua, before Joshua was called by God, Joshua would linger in the presence of God. When you study the life of Joshua and Moses, see that Joshua would enter the tent and he would linger there. Before the Lord told him, after the Lord even, told Moses, hey, go up on the mountain and die. That's such an interesting way to die. He said, I need your permission. Hey, let's do this together. Go up on the mountain. But before the Lord encounters and reveals to Joshua what his assignment would be, Joshua lingered. And so there are times that it's not about God trying to hide this thing from you, but maybe you need to know him first before you build for him. And so that's what I want to invite you to. Outside of the uniqueness of how God wants to express himself through you, know him and make him known wherever you are. In your workplace, in your family, at the grocery store. You see, sometimes there are moments where people, it's almost like, when you feel like you're just having this awesome day and someone tries to do something to just get on your last nerve. And it just shifts everything around. I want you to take those moments to your prayer journal. You know what? I met this person and I just wanted to say bleep, 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 bleep. But I'm going to pray for that person actually. Because here is the thing. See, the Word of God says that he does not desire that anyone will perish. And we grow in our faith, we grow in our intimacy with the Lord when we begin to seek out the same thing. That you don't just look for someone to fall because they piss you off. But that you take that, see, you and all your nonsense. I was in London, that would be like rubbish. I was like, hey, where's the trash? The trash? They're looking at me like, what? The rubbish? Oh, right there. You and all your rubbish, I'm going to lay it down at the feet of Jesus. We're going to close. I remember when I found out that my uncle, an uncle I grew up with, an uncle I loved, was behind my father.
And God created everything. Why did he create everything? Well, Revelation, why did he create everything? Because he's created, therefore it is his nature to create. Why did he create it? Well, Revelation 4:11 tells us, Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power, and thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they exist, and they were created. God created everything to please himself.
Since I want to keep more of the texture, we're not going to use the hot comb today. We're just going to use
So we read on, and then
a curling iron to press to the top.
Do you realize the whole chapter could have been that one verse?
I'm going to go in and clean up the knots too.
I just thought something funny. Genesis chapter 1, verses 2 through 31 is God explaining why he created everything. I'm like, why are you created heaven and earth? That's enough. Then he starts saying, well, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water, and God said, let there be light. And it was light. God saw the light. It was good. God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. God made a firmament and divided in the water. I'm like, what are we doing here? Now, I don't know if your mind works like that, but I wanted to know, why are you giving me all these details? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because, and I'm not even going to read all of that to you right now. I'm going to take this with me because I'm probably going to need it again. So, we know that God, in the beginning when he created heaven and earth, Genesis chapter 1 shows us that God created 3 categories. Categories? Is that it? Glorious. Thank you.
Why is everyone spiraling over YouTube banning ad blockers? Like, chill guys, just use Pi. It's a free Chrome extension that's actually...
Can't spell worth quarters, but I can count. Okay, so 3 categories in creation. What are those 3 categories? Category numero uno, God created creation. Creation is the sun, the moon, the stars, the grass, the trees, the water. God created stuff. That's the first thing he created. He created creation. Then he created
Don't mind do back here.
creatures. Creatures who can't use a... Okay, creatures.
Let me do it small.
I get excited. I start pressing too hard and want to erase. Okay, so God created creation. Creation is the sun, the moon, the stars, the grass, the mountains, the rocks, etc., etc., etc. Then he created creatures, the dogs, the cats, the chimpanzees, the alligators, the giraffes, and the chimpanzees, all that. But you know what's really fascinating about creation and creatures? They can't even appreciate the God who created them. They can't appreciate the God who created them. They can't celebrate the God who created them. The creation can't do it because it's just there. The word for the creatures is 𝗙𝗲𝗲 in Hebrew. 𝗙𝗲𝗲, you know what 𝗙𝗲𝗲 means? In it is what it is. A horse is a horse is a horse is a horse. Okay, so a horse can only do what a horse could do the first day a horse got here. A dog can only do what a dog could do the first day a dog got here. A cat can only do what a cat could do. Like what a cat could do on day one of creation is all a cat can do now.
I'm gonna go ahead and pre-cut the lace for her
And then
before I do
God
that here.
created creators. Creators. Some people don't like that when I say that, but that's fine. Creators. You could say creatives. But what do you create? See, creation and creatures couldn't appreciate the God who created them. So God created Adam. Creators. Now, we're not creators in the sense that God is, because God can create something out of nothing. By the way, people who say you can speak things into existence, they are delusional. Speaking something into existence out of nothing is bara. The only person in the Bible who ever bara'd anything is God. So, you can't speak things into existence. You can't. Now, people think you can, and I know why they think you can, but they're wrong. You can't. Now, what you can do is you can speak words that, you can speak God's words into a space in your life that has doubt. And God's word can replace that doubt with faith. And then you can take an action in faith that did not take it out. And then you accomplish a thing, and that's why people think they spoke the thing into existence when all they really did was said the same thing to them that God said to them about them. So now they believe they could do the thing that God made them to do in the first place. Okay, just so you know. So Adam. So you got Aleph, Dalet, Mem. That's what a man is. That's what a woman is. We're Adam. God called their name Adam. Aleph is the letter that represents God. Dalet, Mem, spells the word blood. And we know that the life of the flesh is in the blood. So what is a man? Man is a godlike creator with flesh and blood. That's very different than creatures. That's very different than creation. How many of y'all track it? And so now something new is here. So I'm going, you say, what's that to do with my purpose? You about to see, just calm down. I got to do my introduction. Y'all know my introductions are long. Okay. So the reason I believe that the first thing God tells us about himself is that he is creative is because the first thing he tells us about us, we see in Genesis chapter 1. By the way, when God created creation, he said, let there be. When God created land animals, he said, let the earth bring forth. When God created the fish and the fowl, he said, let the sea bring forth. But when God created man, he didn't say, let the earth bring forth man. He didn't say, let there be man. And he didn't say, let the sea bring forth man. What does that tell you? That man is very different than everything else God ever created. How many of y'all tracking? Genesis 1, verse, I'm gonna read 25 verses. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and the cattle after his kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, verse 26, let us make man in our image, created man in his own image. In the image of God created him, male and female created he them. Oh, so the reason the first thing God tells us about God is that he's creative is because the first thing he tells us about us is that he created us in his image, which means he created us to create stuff and he made us to make stuff. That's why we're here. Okay, now we got a piece of the purpose puzzle, don't we? Oh man, I should have named this "Putting Together the Purpose Puzzle." I guess I'll have to make another video called "Putting Together the Purpose Puzzle." Okay, so that would have been a great thumbnail title. Anyway, okay. So God made me. God told me he's creative. And then he told me he created me in his image. He told me he created you in his image. Oh, so that's why he went back and God explained everything in verses 2 through 31. Because he didn't want us to just know that he created everything, but because he created us to create stuff, he wanted us to see the process for creation.
This is how AI optimizes my schedule. This meeting got canceled. Hooray! We didn't really want to go.
I got chills all over me right there. You say, what do you mean? Okay. I'm not going to do all of them, but I'm going to show you some of them. Just so you have as many chills running up and down your arms and back and legs like I do right now. Y'all ready? So the first thing it began with, I'm going to make this number 2. You'll see why in a minute. It began with, in the beginning God created the heaven and earth. That's God's intention. So the creative process begins with intention. And then it says, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness upon the face of the deep. The word was is not the word used to be. The word was is became. So we see disruption follows intention. By the way, this is one of the reasons why people live on the struggle bus their whole life. Every time I try to do something good, it turns into something bad. No, duh. That's the point. See, what do you mean that's the point? Breathe, man. Do you see that disruption even followed God's intention? God gave Joseph a dream. Joseph told his brothers his dream. Told his father and his mother his dream. His brothers hated him for his dreams and for his words. So much so, they wanted to kill him. But one of the brothers said, no, let's don't kill him. We can't make no money if we kill him. Let's throw him in the ditch so we can go find a buyer. By the time they came back, he was already gone.
Once this dry, I'm going to comb this out.
God gave Joseph a dream. He told people his dream. And then disruption followed his intention. 40 nights he ate nothing, and afterwards he was in hunger. Why? It's a pattern. Learn to discern biblical patterns. Disruption always follows intention. But then what? Well, Genesis chapter says the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. What's that? Inspiration. We have to find a source of inspiration after disruption follows our intention. What happens after that? And God said, let there be light. What is that? That's illumination. We learn something that we can see something we couldn't see because we learned something we didn't know. This is the process for creation. There's more. There's delegation, there's segmentation to completion, there's separation. There's a whole bunch of other stuff in there. I'm gonna let y'all go find the rest of it. Because this is not the point today. But you say, why did you say one? Well, because God didn't need one, what we do. What's number one? Number one is awareness. God didn't need awareness because he's already aware of everything, because he already knows everything. He's omniscient, so he knows everything. So we don't know everything. So if I want my life to change for the better, I have to discover a new awareness. And then I'll set a new intention. And then I have to make a decision about that intention, because disruption is going to follow that intention. And then I have to have discipline when disruption follows the intention to keep on doing the thing I decided to do. And by the way, the word 𝙠𝙤 means to cut yourself off from any other possibility. Are y'all tracking? Okay. So, now that the introduction, I'm kidding, I'm very serious. Now that the introduction is done, let me say this.
Mm-hmm.
You were uniquely created for a purpose, and your purpose was uniquely created for you. How many of y'all tracking? Wave at me if you're tracking. But not only that, your fulfillment in life comes from your struggle to connect your purpose with you and the work you do. That's where your fulfillment comes from. Now, how do I discover my purpose? That's the question, right? How do I discover my purpose? You must first realize that there are levels and layers to one's purpose. You have a spiritual purpose. You have a special purpose. You have a social purpose. And you have a sacrificial purpose. All of us have all of those. If you don't fulfill all of those, then you are not going to feel fulfilled. So what are those? What are these purposes? Okay, you have to discover. How do you discover your purpose? That's what this point is. Discover. How do I discover my purpose? Well, I discover my purpose, one, by I have a spiritual purpose. What's my spiritual purpose? To please God. That is the primary, number one thing I was created for. Everything I'm to do with my life, my entire life, is to please God. That's why I'm here. That's why you're here. That's why your next door neighbor's here. That's why the guy down the street's here. That's why the people who get on your nerves are here. To please God. Everybody's here to please God. That's your spiritual purpose. But you also have a social purpose. What's a social purpose? To create value for other people.
I kind of wish I learned how to code when I was in school. Oh my gosh, coding is actually so fun. I did a sheet code web.
Say, why do you say it, Ryan? Look not every man on his own things, look every man also on the things of others. Let each esteem other better than themselves. I am supposed to put you first. You're supposed to put me first. I'm not supposed to tell you to put me first. You're not supposed to tell me to put you first. We're just all supposed to do that. Wouldn't the world be a very different place if everybody sought to please God and create value for other people? The world would be a very different place. All of the social ills in the world would go away in one fell swoop. But instead, we seek to please ourselves and then find other people who create value for us. So, creating value for other people is one of the primary reasons for which I was created. But in order for me to do that, if I'm going to create value for other people, I have to value the people that I'm going to create value for enough to find out what they value in the first place. And we are so self-absorbed and so self-consumed and so self-righteous that we negate one of the most primary purposes for our existence. Like, I'm supposed to be looking out for you. Like, if I'm having a bad day, I'm having a bad day. You know why I'm having a bad day? Because I'm thinking about marrying Freddie Golden. And I'm not counting my blessings. I'm thinking about what's missing in my life. You know how much money thinking about what's missing in my life makes me? None. You know how much fulfillment me thinking about what's missing in my life gives me? None. You know what gives me fulfillment? Thinking about what's missing in other people's lives and doing everything in my power to make it, so that to create it so they can have it. For some people just don't have enough encouragement. Guess what? Encouragement is easy to create and it doesn't cost anything. But most people can't be bothered. You know why? They're too busy thinking about all the people who didn't do them right and all the people who did do them wrong. Like, get over yourself. Once when he offered himself, Jesus was perfect. And yet he was not self-absorbed. He was not self-consumed. He was not self-willed. Here's what it tells about Jesus. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus, who being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God, but made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant. The King of Kings took upon the form of a servant. What is your kingdom assignment? To serve other people. I love how the Bible is just so perfectly fitting together. You have to create value for other people, but in order to do that, you have to value other can tell you where values come from if I have time. I do have time. I can tell you where values come from. In fact, I'm going to make a little side note here. Values come from past, perceived voids. Past perceived voids create present pursued values. What does that mean? If I feel like something was missing in my past, then I will value it in my present. First thing that comes to my mind is my 1968 Pontiac 𝗙𝗵𝗃, because I wanted that car when I was a kid, and a friend of mine had it, but he wouldn't sell it to me, and I jonesed for that car for 50-something years, and I finally found one. I'm like, why do I want it? It's not as comfortable as any other car I have. It doesn't have air conditioning. It's convertible, but it doesn't have air conditioning. It doesn't have shoulder seat belts. If any car ever needed an airbag, that car needs an airbag with that hard steering wheel, but it doesn't have an airbag. Like, what is it? What's missing in my past? And maybe somebody was missing encouragement in their past, and you can come by and give them some encouragement and make a difference in their life. Maybe they didn't know how to do something that you know how to do, and you can come by and teach them how to do it, and they pay you for it. And they value it because they wanted to learn how to do it their whole life and never had the opportunity to learn how. Do you see how this works together? Okay, some people just didn't have any encouragement. They were made fun of their whole life. And all you got to do is come along and give them encouragement. Man, this thing is so simple yet so powerful. It'll change our very existence. Okay, past perceived voids. Number 2, present perceived value. Present perceived virtues. Thank you. Virtues create present perceived, present pursued values. Man, this is starting to turn into a tongue twister. Okay, present perceived virtues create present pursued values. Things that people believe are good right now are things that they pursue. Like, if I value my health, I will go to the gym, get on a treadmill, and run as fast as I can to nowhere. I will pick up weights and move them nowhere simply for the sake of making my muscles hurt, right? So I can be stronger. So whatever I like, present perceived virtues. When figure out what the people around you believe is good and create that for them. They'll pay you for it. Okay, and then last but not least, future perceived visions create present perceived
All right, I'm about
values.
to cut it.
Like, if somebody has a vision for the future, they'd like to have an outcome in the future. They don't know how to get it in the present, but you know how to get that outcome for them in the present because you've gotten it for yourself. Maybe you've gotten it for other people. If you can show them how you can help them get that vision that they have for their future, they'll pay you for it in the present. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Okay, so you discover your spiritual purpose, your social purpose to create value for other people. Then you have your, I'm sorry, that wasn't your spiritual, that was your special purpose. Your social purpose, number 3, is your social purpose, and that is to connect with other people. I'm going to tell you something now, and some of y'all ain't going to believe me. Even if you're an introvert, a part of your purpose is to connect with other people. Even if you're shy, even if you don't like how you look, and you think other people are going to judge how you look because you've been judging how you look because of all the people who grew up when you were growing up who gave you your identity, they didn't like how you looked. Even if you think you're not smart, God created you to connect with others.
This is heavy. It's warm. Loads pockets. I'm impressed with it. This is the best.
That's how I know that fulfillment comes from creation, because we made in the image of God. He created us to create stuff. That's how I know that we get fulfillment from connection, because God created us so He'd have someone to connect with. And that's how I know we get fulfillment from contribution. Because when man sinned, what he did was he tried to cover it up by making aprons out of fig leaves. And God said, fig leaves don't work. Fig leaves are the works of your own hands, from your garden. But in order for you to be reconnected to me, a sacrifice has to be made. And it says God made them coats of skin, which means some animals had to die. And some blood had to be shed to cover man's sin. Why? Because that was a foreshadowing of the fact that the God of the universe was going to contribute His own Son to reconnect God to His creators, to His creatives, to the men and the women and the boys and the girls that He made. And God made me in His image, which means if God is only fulfilled, if God Himself is only fulfilled through creation and connection and contribution, and I'm made in His image, how could I be delusional enough to think I'm going to be fulfilled some other way? Like, I get it. I'm not pretending that this stuff is easy. It's not easy.
Definitely not
Sin
easy.
nature. And my sin nature likes being lazy. It doesn't like creating stuff. Don't look at me like that. Your sin nature's crazy, lazy too. Yeah, crazy and lazy, okay? My sin nature likes...
Make sure you get the elastic band. Jesus knows, Jesus, okay, sis, she looking cute. I knew this was gonna be a really cute wig. And let's clean up the cut, which doesn't look too bad. The best texture, literally. Kinky straight. You know my God is waiting. Jesus is around. You want to be able to go through it all the way without catching any threads. So any threads you catch, make sure you snip them so that your customer don't have to do any of that. It'll be ready for them to wear. You can do the same if you're making your own wigs too. This wig is for returning customer though. She ordered this wig. This looks so good. Literally looks like natural hair. Like my hair texture looks just like this when it's pressed out. So I always wear this hair. And this is only one bundle and a lace closure. You don't need too much with the kinky straight hair. What's this wig's name or the song? My stomach is literally growling, you guys. Like, it's been growling for the past 10 minutes. So I need to hurry up. Okay. Song I Keep Falling in Love with Him by 𝙤𝙤𝗵𝙂. This is actually the first time I've heard this one play. I like it though. Don't stop, Lord, I need you. Lord, I need you. Don't stop today. Alright, so first she's gonna get her satin wig back. This is where she's gonna put her wig in when she's not wearing it. It does have a zipper, and you place your wig inside of here, and it keeps it protected from all of the dust that's flying around in the air when you're not wearing your wig, and even when you are wearing it. But if you're gonna be wearing it, then I recommend you get a head to just set it on, so it can keep its form. Then she has her detangling brush. All of this comes free with our custom wig orders. So this is going to help her when it's time to shampoo and just go through and comb the wig. She's also getting a bottle of growth serum. This is our growth serum mini, which comes free with different wigs. Set that in there. I think I'm gonna put this her wig cap in there too. I have a whole bunch of wig caps in bulk, so I'll add one of those in as well. Mostly people don't wear wig caps. I don't wear wig caps, but in case you do like to wear one, I'll add one in the package. got her card, she got her oil. Okay. We're gonna get ready to pack this in. And this is it. We're gonna add filling in the inside, and that's going to keep the top nice and flat. And inside, she has her elastic band that is removable and it's adjustable. And we made this wig yesterday on live, so go check it out. Oh, perfect. Post office don't close until 2 o'clock. I figured it did. I was just thinking about it, and that's why I just went to go check. So we are right on time. We got a whole hour left. I figured it was one that opened up until 2. Okay, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and pack this up. Got the hairnet. I wish I didn't have to pack them and they didn't have to get put away to get to their owner, but I mean, if I install it, then it doesn't have to, obviously, but I don't always take appointments, so we have to ship them. But I do my best to make sure that it's like shipped to where all you have to do is take it out of the package. So let's kind of open it. This is the front. Perfectly ready. And it's gonna go in here. Alright, so let me go put the thank you card as well as my card right here. Snugly packed. You see how nothing is moving, nothing's shaking. Pack it in there so it can be snug, and so when she gets it, she don't gotta worry about nothing. Alright, so let's weigh this, and then I have to wrap it up again. Get ready to go to drop off these orders. Just a few today. The rest of them I have to order. So if you didn't get an email for tracking, then you are you ordered some hair that was not in stock. So that's our pre-order hair. There are explanations for everything pretty much, and like processing times on the website, so just click shipping information and you get more of that. Okay guys, we're to get these packages scanned in. I forgot my PO box key, so I'm not going to be able to check my PO box today, but today we are just shipping out those hair butters, those 16-inch silky straight extensions, and then a custom wig.